dealing with finding the lengths of segments inside circles. We have several different um, styles of problems here. I've come up with just two little phrases to memorize in order to get these. A lot of times people write them in different ratios. They have different phrases for you to remember. This is what I've got. So when I see two chords like this intersecting inside of a circle, I say to myself, part times part equals part times part. So I've got like this part times this part equals this part times that part. So that's where I got my AB. A times B equals C times D. So let's look at one of these. So I've got part 12 times part X equals 8 times 9. Part times part equals part times part. That's 12X equals 72. Divide by 12, you get 6. Try that next one. Push pause real quick. Twat. Part times part equals part times part. These are big numbers. I need a calculator. That's 18x equals 4. 32. Divide by 18 on both sides, you get 24, hopefully. Okay. So the next style is one where you have two secant lines. Secant meaning they're going to touch a circle twice. So I have two secant lines touching at a point outside the circle, and we say outside times whole equals outside times whole. So in this case, the outside part A times the whole thing equals the outside part C times the whole thing C plus D. Okay, so let's try a couple. I got the outside of 7 times the whole. Outside times whole equals outside times whole. Outside of 7 whole thing is 7 plus X. Outside of 6 times the whole is 6 plus 8. Distribute over here, you get 49 equals that's what 14 times 6, maybe 84. And so all I did, I made that 14 right there. I added and then multiplied by 6. Subtract the 49 over, you get 35. Divide by 7, x equals 5. Push pause, try that next one. Outside times the whole thing is 5 plus x equals outside times the whole thing is 4 plus 6. That's 25 plus 5x equals, that's 10. So that's 40 over here. Subtract the 25 over, you get 15. X equals 3. Okay, let's try another one. So same rule here. Notice it's outside the circle. So all of these were outside the circle. This one's still outside the circle. It looks funny, but it's the same rule. It's outside times whole equals outside times whole. It looks funny because that A is a tangent line. It's only touching the circle one time. So when I say outside, the outside part is A, but the whole thing is A as well. So outside times whole equals outside times whole. Let's look at some. I got the outside is 6 times the whole thing is 6 equals the outside is 4 times the whole thing is 4 plus x. That's 36 equals 16 plus 4x. I made that x. 16 plus 4x. Subtract the 16 over, you get 20. I think x equals 5. Push pause, try that next one. I got outside is 18 times the whole thing is 18 equals outside is 12 times the whole thing is 12 plus x. 18 times 18 is 324, and that's 144 plus 12x. I'm going to subtract that 144 over and get 180. Now I'm going to divide by 12 on both sides to get x equals 15. Okay, let's look at a couple more examples. So the previous ones we were just solving for part, the outside part or the whole part. This one we're solving for EC. So we're going to solve for x, and then we want EC. We're going to plug x back in and see how long that segment is. So first step is exactly the same. We're going to say outside times whole equals outside times whole. So I've got outside times the whole thing equals the outside times the whole thing. So that's 9 times 16. That's 144 equals 64 plus 40x. And then I'm going to subtract the 64 over and get 80. And divide by 2, I got x equals 2. And that's not my answer. That's a very important step. That's not my answer. I got to solve for EC. EC, there's E right there. There's C right there. So I need to figure out what that whole segment is right there. So I know that EC is equal to 5x plus 8. So I'm going to take that x equals 2 and plug it in right there for x. So I've got 5 times 2 plus 8, that's 18. So EC is 18. That's my final answer. How about you push pause and try this one really quickly? I've got outside is 15. The whole thing is 15. Equals the outside is 9 times the whole thing is 9 plus 4x plus 4. All right, this is 225 equals, I'm going to distribute 81 plus 36x plus 36. And I'm going to combine my like terms over here. So that's 225 equals 117 maybe plus 36x. And I'm going to subtract the 117 over and get 108 over here equals 36x. Divide by 36 and x equals 3. So once again, that's not my answer because I'm looking for LK. So L is right here. K is right there. So I want to know that segment right there. So this one's smaller than the last. The last one I was doing this whole side over here. This one's just this part. So I've got LK is equal to 4x plus 4. I'm going to take that x equals 3 and plug it in right there. That's 4 times 3 plus 4. That is 16. Okay. The last style looks like this. So I really like the part times part stuff. That's just really easy to me. And if I could, I would say 10 times x equals 6 times y, but that doesn't really get me anywhere. I need more numbers than that. If I look at the outside times whole equals outside times whole, I could say 15 is the outside times the whole thing is 15. And then the outside is 9. The whole thing is 9 plus y plus 6. So I have enough numbers to solve for y here. That would be 225 equals, what is this, 81 plus 9y plus 54. And 81 and 54 is 135. Just combine my like terms right there. Subtract the 135 over and you get 90. So y equals 10. Okay, so that means that that is 10 right there. Which means I have enough numbers to solve for x. I can say part times part equals part times part. 10 part times part equals part times part. that 60 equals 10x divided by 10x equals 6.